Hi, welcome to the next topic, that is advantages of MongoDB database, which is one of the famous NoSQL database what we are going to learn compared to RDBMS. We have taken certain parameters. So one by one we will be discussing about the parameters. The first parameter what we have taken is regarding the schema. When talking about MongoDB, MongoDB is schema less, but RDBMS is fully based on a particular schema. Before trying to insert the data into the table, you have to create a data structure and you have to talk about the relationships between the table. Then you have to start designing the table, then only you can insert the data. But here you can directly insert the data as a document. And the second point here what we see is there may be a difference between the number of fields, the content, the size, whatever data we are trying to insert into MongoDB. But in RDBMS, every record, every row, every data type, every field should have or it should match that predefined schema. Say, for example, if I could store only integer which is of 10 size, only that much data I can store for all the rows. Okay, I cannot exceed the limit what I have predefined in my schema. Next one, in MongoDB, horizontal scalability is possible. That is, I can add n number of servers depending upon the data which is coming in. But in RDBMS, it is not possible. We can increase only the RAM capacity. Next, in MongoDB, we have one of the famous theorem called as CAP theorem, which talks about consistency, availability, and partition tolerance, which we will be discussing in later classes. And in RDBMS, we have the another famous theorem called as acid properties, which we are very familiar with us, which we have learned it in DBMS, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. MongoDB is very much suitable for the hierarchical data storage purposes, but RDBMS will not support that particular process. So in MongoDB, we write the queries, everything in the form of JSON, JavaScript object notation. As we know, in RDBMS, we write everything in the form of structured query language. So the next point we have is MongoDB is very much easy for installation, setup, and to configure when compared to RDBMS. So now MongoDB is very much faster. As I can say, it is 100 times faster in query processing than our RDBMS systems, which is very much slow when compared to our NoSQL database. So here we will not have any support for complex joins like inner join, outer join, left outer join in MongoDB, but RDBMS supports all the joins which can be very easy, very complex to execute, and it takes much time for the data processing. So here, since MongoDB uses our built-in memory for storage, so the processing is also very much faster. So MongoDB supports in-depth query ability so that we will be able to get each and every data which is stored in the documents. But here in SQL, according to the query, whatever we write, then only we will be able to retrieve the result. So now when to use our NoSQL database and when we can use our RDBMS database. So whenever we feel like the data, whatever is coming in belongs to various categories of data and need not follow any structure to be stored, in that case, I can easily go for our NoSQL database. As we know, our NoSQL database usually handles large amount of unstructured and unrelated data. Okay, our non-relational database has the two important properties, that is scalability and availability, so that all our real-time applications like our gaming, social networking, messaging sites, everyone will be using our NoSQL database as their backend, because one or the other server, even if one server is failing, the other server will automatically gain its position and it will work. So that concept is called as replication, which we will be seeing it later in the next classes. But here, like NoSQL can be easily learned and it can be easily taken from any other person. But whenever we want to learn MongoDB, we need some coding skills. So we have to put some efforts to learn how to code in MongoDB and how to query using our JSON languages. So now coming to the history of our NoSQL database, in the mid of 1990s, where the big data has taken a boom into our industries, they thought of NoSQL database because our relational database is no more having the capacity of storing unrelated and unstructured data. So that is how this NoSQL has come into the existence, and how we call this NoSQL is nothing but not only SQL. So now, as I told, some of the famous organization who uses this NoSQL is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google. Everyone will be adopting this NoSQL as the backend because it is storing all the format of data. So coming to features of NoSQL, what are all the features this NoSQL has? It is becoming so much popular nowadays. The first feature is it has dynamic schemas, sharding property, replication process, integrated caching property, and simple API. So just now I talked about this dynamic schemas. We don't have any predefined schema. Schema is nothing but a predefined structure of the table. Okay, this is the data type. These many fields will be there. These many columns are allowed. All those NoSQL does not have. So however the data is coming in, it is going to take as it is so that it can take less time for storing the data without making any changes to the structure of your data. Next one is called as auto sharding. So what is mean by sharding is nothing but you will be adding servers instead of increasing the capacity of your particular single machine. So how many machines you want, you will be keep on adding, like how many datas are coming in. So how much of our data, the datas are that easily redirected to the different servers, so there will not be any delay in the storage of data. So even if one server is failing, it goes to the other machine and starts working with that particular data. So what is called as replication? Replication is done to maintain the availability in case of any outages are there. Say for example, a server in Chennai is getting failed, the same replication will be kept even in Mumbai and Delhi server. So one of the server will act as a primary server, and there will not be any delay in fetching up and loading of the data with respect to your NoSQL database. And what is mean by integrated caching? So it has this integrated caching capacity that we can frequently use the data in system memory and remove the need for a separate caching layer. It is like a temporary memory which is residing inside our system. So every time we need not go to the server and fetch our data. So whatever is there in the cache memory itself, we can easily process. This is something like what we have in our local memory in the system, which is used like remember password, and we have those log files, everything, right? So something like that. Here we have a caching system so that every time we need not trigger into our service. And next point is we have a simple API. Simple API is nothing but your programming interface, which is very, very simple, where you can store and query your data, and we have very much low level of manipulation of the data, so that we need not have any standard structure to follow our query language. So just like that, I can add a data, fetch a data, I can remove a data. We have one of our GUI interface here also to do all this operations. Thank you.